Maccabees taking over blocks. First Peter 4:11. If you ain't speaking it, you ain't the real brethren. First Peter 4:11. If you ain't speaking it, you ain't the real brethren. They talking gibberish. What? Don't wanna hear that mess. By your words you condemn, by your words you get justified. Father is the judge, he about to bang the gavel. Nimrod thought he smart and he built up a tower. Got the whole language changed, now we call it Babel. If they not speaking this word like a lamp without a bulb or a building that is vacant, ain't no light in them. If he content for the faith, got his breastplate of righteousness, helmet of salvation, it's some night in them. Like a karate movie, I see your tongue wagging, lips popping, need to stop it cause your words are still delayed. Know that we the real deal, about to cut you up with skill, rightly dividing the word, making it clear as day. First Peter 4:11. If you ain't speaking it, you ain't the real brethren. First Peter 4:11. If you ain't speaking it, you ain't the real brethren. They talking gibberish. What? Don't wanna hear that mess. Woe to the pastor that scatter the sheep in pastures. 1 John 1:8, if you sin, he looking at you. He teach that all should be saved within the rapture. It seems that he don't get the picture nor the caption. For every false out of word, he gon' cut you off. That suit not catch him, no pastor, this ain't no sauce. He's not in temples made with hands or a mouse. We gotta stick to his word, this ain't the cross. Getting treasures by lying tongue, that's vanity. Try and run from these laws is insanity. I might be rude in my speech, little profanity. I'm just trying to save you from your calamity. First Peter 4:11. If you ain't speaking it, you ain't the real brethren. First Peter 4:11. If you ain't speaking it, you ain't the real brethren. They talking gibberish. What? Don't wanna hear that mess. They talking gibberish. What? Don't wanna hear that.
That's why the Bible says in Revelation 11, it said when you begin to wake up, great fear. When you stood up on your feet, the Bible said great fear fell upon them, upon all of them that saw you. They scared.
Oh no, you gonna prepare to meet God. Give me Amos 9 and 10. You finna meet God. Yeah, you right, that's my God. He ain't your God. You don't know who you worship. You give me Amos 9 and 10, you give me John 4:22. That's been a piece of rebuking up in here.
He deceived you long enough. He told you that Jesus is a white man and Jesus is a black man according to the Bible.
That's right.
Jesus looked just like you. Yeah, we ain't worrying about that either. Because we got guns too.
As you know, we got a very important meet this evening at 5:30. Can we not live, is we? Okay. We're going to go here. We thank everybody for coming. Shabbat Shalom, brothers. Shabbat shalom, sisters. All praise to the Most High. We're going to go right in it. What's the name of the lesson again?
Raucous from Bacchus.
Raucous from Bacchus. Now, you know right here in Memphis is Pride Month. Where the whole nation. Wow, the whole nation. Right, the whole world. Wow.
Over there fighting in California.
Wow. It's a whole month, universal Pride Month. And it's the job of the Israelites to instruct and to rebuke the foolish and the wicked. Con. This is how we're going to start off. Give me, any brother in here know Bacchus? Give me the first article. I know Matt and I put one in for me. I don't want to pull his. You put it in there again. Okay. Give me the article or the link on Bacchus. Me and the brother, we went down and prophesied. We got to show it. Yeah. Hold on. Wait. We went down and prophesied last weekend downtown at the Pride Parade, LGBTQI. I think they adding on to it. Right. And you will be amazed what they brought out, because the parade gets a little bit more explicit and carnal every year. They brought out Bacchus out of 2 Maccabees 6 and 2 Maccabees 14. They brought out Bacchus. And we're going to tie that in and show you on that. And we'll be dealing with, and we'll be tying in the God, the many Israelites still worship today, Bacchus, or better known as Dionysus, or Dionysus, thank you, and Baal Peor. We're going to tie these things in and show you how these things still plague our nations today. And we have to be wise in these last days. So we got that real quick. We got that article. Right. I think Shema, you want to bring something out real quick? Right. The nice, just to show you the correlation in between the two.
And Bacchus also mentioned the New Testament too. Get Acts 17, verse 34.
Acts 17, verse 4.
Yeah.
You ready?
Let me get that right quick.
All right, come on.
All right.
This is the book of Acts.
This is verse 33. And then.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 33. So Paul departed from among them. Verse 34. Howbeit certain men cleaved unto him.
He said, howbeit certain men clave unto him.
And believed. Among which was Dionysus.
He said, among what?
Among which was Dionysus.
Among which was Dionysus. So these men, they was among Dionysus, which Dionysus means Bacchus. So if you go to the media content real quick. Yeah, the one it's a strong concordance. Strong concordance. Now read it.
This is the Strong's definition.
They started the Dionysus and read the one in they keep reading.
Dionysus from Bacchus.
Bacchus. So Dionysus, Bacchus, they the same thing. So we'll keep on reading.
Reviler.
So Bacchus is reviler. And Kaya about to go in more detail about what Bacchus is. So just trying to proving it through that he mentioned in the New Testament. Bacchus. It means reviler and all types of stuff. So get back to you.
All praise to the Most High. And
praise.
on that note, let's go to the second article. And to learn more about this spirit or this god or this mythology god called Bacchus or Dionysus. I think I'm repeating it wrong or saying it wrong. Right, it's the same, it's interchangeable. Bacchus.
All praise, all praise.
So we're going to learn more about this mythology or this mythological god, Bacchus, that Israel was worshiping and still worshiping today, and Baal Peor. You got that article on Bacchus? Yeah, the one, yeah, it's under Manoah's name. Yeah, yeah, not that. I don't want that one yet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we're going to read this. When you pay attention, write this stuff down, take notes. You don't want to miss this. Well, all you're getting, get what? Go ahead, read that.
The ancient Greek religion and myth.
The ancient Greek religion and what?
And myth.
Go ahead. Dionysus.
Dionysus.
Right.
Ancient Greek is the god of winemaking.
The god of winemaking. Come on, he's the god of winemaking.
Orchards and fruit.
Orchards and fruits.
Vegetation.
Vegetation.
Fertility.
What?
Fertility.
Fertility.
And festivity.
Festivals. Parties. Festivities. Read.
Insanity.
I want you to keep that word insanity in mind. Insanity. Right?
Ritual madness.
Keep that in mind. Ritual, what?
Madness.
Madness. Come on.
Religious ecstasy.
Religious what?
Religious ecstasy.
Ecstasy. Religious ecstasy. Go ahead.
And theater.
And theater. Right? Keep reading.
He was also known as Bacchus.
He was also known as Bacchus, what we just proved in Acts. Go ahead.
By the Greeks.
By the who?
By the Greeks.
By the Greeks. And we're going to go to the Greeks' age in the Maccabees. Come on.
A name later adopted by the Romans.
A name adopted by the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
For a frenzy.
For
he is said to induce.
For a frenzy he is said to induce.
Called Bacchus.
Called Bacchus. Come on.
As Dionysus, Eleutherius.
And that word Bacchus is almost close to bacteria. Okay, keep that in mind. Go ahead.
The liberator.
Come on.
His
the what?
The liberator.
The what?
The liberator.
The liberator. You got the Republicans and Democrats and the liberals. Why are the Republicans so mad at the Democrats and liberals? And if you look at that dynamic, it's because that the liberals and the Democrats want to legalize homosexuality, abortion. These things the so-called Republicans are against. Go ahead.
His wine.
His wine.
Music.
Remember all these attributes. His wine, music.
His ecstatic dance.
His ecstatic. Remember this now. This is going to be very important in a minute. His ecstatic dance.
Free his followers.
Well, hold on. Pay attention. His ecstatic dance. What does this ecstatic dance do when you're under this wine or influence of wine? It does what?
Free his followers.
It frees the followers.
From self-conscious fear.
From self-conscious fear. And the self-conscious fear can be fear of dying, fear of the bills, fear of society. Think about it. Going to church.
Coming out the closet.
Right. Hold on. We're going to take it slow. Going into church on Sunday morning, you went through a whole bad time all the week. You go in church, pastor begin to preach, and y'all begin to have a praise break. You shout, get sweaty, and the ecstatic dance frees your mind of what? Self-conscious fear and care, right? Now, what goes along with that is what? Wine and what? Music. Because the shouting ain't going to start until the beat. It ain't going to start till that start, right? So his wine, music, and ecstatic dance frees his followers from self-conscious fear and care. Go ahead.
And subvert the oppressive restraints.
And subvert oppressive what?
Restraints.
Restraints of what?
Of the powerful.
Of the what?
Of the powerful.
That's very interesting.
Salaki King. Now, as we were reading this, I put something in. I put a video in here off of what we're reading. I wasn't gonna mention it, but since you read that, showing that Dionysus or Bacchus is the god of theater, you know, I want y'all to understand. So, you know, we sit there and we ask all the time, why do they put homosexuality on everything you watch on the TV? Like, you might have had a favorite show and everything was going well, then all of a sudden they done put a sodomite in there. Bacchus had something to do with that. The spirit of Bacchus. So with that being said, pull that video. We're going to come right back to this article because I don't want Kyle to lose his point. But pull up this video of what they doing in the theater in Hollywood. They got to call on the devil to get in mode to do these characters. So I just put that in the media chat toward the end there. We're going to come right back to it right there. So he is the God, the lowercase g God of theater and wine and reveling. Go ahead, play that, King. Nah, Ezra got me right there.
I was hitting a block, right? I was like, oh, I'm not doing it right? So I went in the corner, and then I was looking at the wall, and I was like, come on, devil, right? Come to me, like, come to me.
Start that over, King. Listen to what he said. He said, come on, devil. He had to go in the corner. Go ahead.
I was hitting a block, right? I was like, oh, I'm not doing it right? So I went in the corner, and then I was looking at the wall, and I was like, come on, devil, right? Come to me, because I had to do something like crazy, right? Had nightmares for a month. So it does come after. Like, I had nightmares every day. Like, I felt that energy, you know, and I had to pray and do all this stuff to like get rid of it. And you know, you call your mom up and you're like, bring me back to life, and that stuff is real. I was hitting a block, right? I was like, oh.
That was just a YouTube short video, but he had to call on the devil to summon that Bacchus spirit so he can do this character. This is the reason why you see homosexuality in all of your shows and all the movies that you see. They got to call on that stuff. You wonder why these folks are so good in drama and all that type of stuff. It's a spirit. That's why, you know, when Beyonce and all these other people get on stage, she say her alter ego, Sasha Fierce. They got to get the chanting and rolling their eyes back in their head to just kind of get in the zone, and they need a spirit to drive them to do that. But going back to that article, Salaki King, I just wanted to point that out.
All praise. That was very good there on how they, you know, you have to summons up. And he said he began to have, you know, nightmares for like a month, right, just to get the certain idea, you know, on film. Right. So go back to the article right there where we ended off at. We spoke about theaters. The Christian church on a small level, your storefront church is a form of a theater, a place of performance. To so much of a stand, they had to build bigger theaters. You call those mega churches, right? A place of theatrical performance, right? Right? That involves what? Music, wine. What is this wine? Go give me the wine. Give me the wine in Micah 2:18 real quick. Give me the wine. Because I don't want you to get confused on this wine. This wine is a physical wine, but it's also what? False doctrine. Drunk off of lies, right? Or give me a Micah 2:18. What's the 2:18 to 11? One of them. Pull that real quick.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 11.
Come on.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood.
If a man walking in the spirit of falsehood
do lie, saying,
saying what?
I will prophesy unto thee
I will prophesy unto thee
of wine.
of what?
Of wine.
Of what?
Of wine.
Of wine.
And of strong drink.
And strong drink.
He shall even be the prophet of his people.
He shall even be the prophet of this people. So that's what that wine is. Now going back to the article. Start right there at number 4, as Dionysus, right there.
That's Dionysus.
Come on.
Erythorius, the liberator. His wine.
Now what's that wine? His false doctrine, his lies, his prophets, his prophecy, right? Go ahead.
Music.
Now along with this, because you need to control the snake, right? Y'all remember Peter Piper? How did he control the snake?
He piped to them.
He piped to them, right?
The music
so you need the music. The music is a very important component. So false doctrine, music, read, and what's it going to bring? Hold on one second, King. Go ahead.
Ecstatic dance.
That's going to bring ecstatic. The word ecstatic is, we're going to show that in a minute, a form of uncontrollable excitement in dance. Right? Go ahead.
Free his followers from
Now, this it's going to produce something. It's producing his followers from what? Self-conscious fear and care. What did the slave master tell the slave if they, be good slaves and they go to church? That on the other side they'll receive heaven, right? Go ahead, can you got something?
I want to add to what you were saying about the music.
Uh-huh.
So acoustics, the definition, the science concerned with the production, control, transmission, reception, and effects of sound.
All praises.
They use that they can make you be sick.
All praises.
They can make you have a good time or
All
make
praises.
you feel up with just the sound.
All praises. It hypnotizes you. And while they're hypnotizing you with the music, they can put in any doctrine they would like. That's why Israelites should not, if it's Israelite in here or online, you should not be listening to worldly music. If that music is not edifying, our young people are only idiots and stupid because of what they hear. Faith come by
hearing.
Our faith come by hearing what?
The word of God.
Right. So if our young people are listening to music, faith come by hearing. Their faith obviously is going to be what? In hip-hop music, in the world. That's why you're having problems with your young people. It's what they hear, what they taking in, right? I'll continue to read.
His wine, music, and ecstatic dance for his followers from subconscious fear and care.
You're right. It takes away subconscious fear and care and subvert the oppressive restraints of the powerful. Go ahead.
His thyrsus, a fennel stem, scepter, sometimes wound with ivy and dipping with honey. It's both a benefit.
Okay, we're going to stop right there. That's all I want on that. Now, give me.
Yeah.
So like you get
Number 6.
6. Get
Y'all
6.
read 6.
6. Those who partake of his mysteries.
Those who partake of his mysteries or partake of the delectables of his table, go ahead,
are believed to become possessed.
are believed to become what?
Possessed.
Possessed, what?
And empowered.
And empowered, read.
By the God himself.
By the God himself. Hence the next video. Give me the praise break video. This is what's going on. Israel has never been in position to do things like this that you see the Christian church on a massive scale partaking of. Praise break video right there. Now, I'm not going to play all that. Play that. Still gotta play it. Yeah, just play it from anywhere. Right. So this music, this false doctrine, this wine, this ecstatic dance is freeing you, right? From self what? You remember? Control. No. Self-conscious what? Right. Self-fear, self-conscious fear and care, right, of this world. So what it's doing is it's freeing your mind. You might have a bad week and you go to church on Sunday morning and the pastor preach a word You begin to shout and dance and you holler, and then you feel, ooh, pastor really preach. Ooh, I'm free. And then you ask him, what did pastor preach on? I don't know, but it was good. He really hollered. He used 2 scriptures because you were overtaken in the theater, right? By his theatric. See, the best preacher is the one who can sing and the one who can use his voice, the highs and lows. Right. The motivational speaker. Right. T.D. Jakes is not a preacher of the gospel. He's a great theology. He's a great motivational speaker. He can motivate you. I play it.
Is there anybody here that will help me tell the devil it ain't over until God says it's over? Open your mouth, clap your hands, pick your feet up, put them down.
Right. Israel has never been a part of this. They are, now what that we read about Bacchus? Now once you are partake of this, you are now what? What? Possessed by their God.
Now I hear my grandmama saying this. You don't know like I know. What is up for me? You don't know like I know. What is up for me? Oh, you don't know like I know. What is up for me? You don't know like I know. Anybody got a testimony in here?
It's worldwide.
Anybody in here have a testimony? Will you put your finger at your neighbor and tell a neighbor you don't know?
Take it forward a little bit.
Skip
Skip about 3-4 minutes. Because I don't want all that foolishness.
That's Smitty right there, y'all.
Or skip forward about 3, 4, 5 minutes. Uh-huh. Right there. Even the children are being possessed. Now what God has overtaken their mind? This is the spirit of Bacchus. Ecstatic dance. It involves wine, music, right? To relieve you, to relieve the of self-conscious care and hurt. This frees you, right? Enough of that foolishness. Enough of that foolishness. This is the spirit of Bacchus, of Dionysus, right? Right? Now, give me 2 Corinthians real quick, 11. You got something real quick, King? Right. It wasn't the Jesus, hence the next precept. It wasn't the Christ of the Bible. It wasn't the Christ. It was another Jesus. It was another spirit. It was another God. Read verse 3.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3.
Come on.
But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ.
From the what?
From the simplicity that is in Christ.
Uh-huh.
Verse 4, for if he that cometh preaches another Jesus.
Another what?
Another Jesus.
Another what?
Another Jesus.
Another Jesus, Bacchus. Disguised Satan's devils or Satan's angels disguised as a what, the Bible says? An angel of light. Right? Go ahead.
For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached.
Paul them didn't preach this Jesus. Christ would think that person needs to be prayed for and delivered of a devil if they was acting like this. Read.
Or if ye receive another spirit.
Oh, another what?
Another spirit.
This is another God. Read.
which ye have not received,
which ye have not received,
or another gospel,
or another gospel,
which ye have not
which
accepted,
you have not accepted,
ye might well bear with him.
ye might well bear with him. Now, let's move on a little further. Give me 2 Maccabees. 2 Maccabees 6. We're going to move on down. 2 Maccabees 6. Start at verse 1. Let's read this kind of quick. I don't want to hold long.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 1.
Read.
Not long after this, the king sent an old man to Antioch to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
This is what they always have done. Took always in the position to compel the Jews to turn from their God. Why? Because there's only one true God in the earth. If we can get the Israelites, then we have the whole earth. We have to stop them Israelites from serving their God, right? Keep reading.
And not to live after the laws of God.
And not to live after the laws of God. Come on.
And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem.
And to also to pollute the temple in Jerusalem.
And to call it the temple of Jupiter
Olympus. Come on.
That in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place.
Keep reading.
Verse 3. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people.
The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. This idea of turning us away from our God, our laws, it was hard for the Israelites to bear this, right? Keep reading.
For the temple was filled with riot and reveling.
The temple was filled with riot and reveling by what?
By the Gentiles.
Ain't this always happening? Didn't it just happen down on Beale Street? Try to convert one of the so-called Christians. Try to tell somebody it's wrong, homosexuality is wrong. And hear the revelings of the Gentiles. Come on.
Who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places.
Come on.
And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
And also the Gentiles, they brought in things that were not lawful. We're going to deal with that in a minute. Come on.
The altar also was filled with profane things.
The altar also was filled with profane things.
Which the law forbid it.
Right, these Gentiles brought these things in. Come on.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days.
It wasn't even lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
Or ancient feasts.
Or ancient feasts.
Or ancient fasts. Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
This is going on right now in the Christian church. Do the Christian church keep any feast days? Do they keep tabernacles? Do they keep Passover?
No.
Feast of unleavened bread. Purim. First fruits. Do they even profess themselves to be Jews? Yet they profess themselves to be what? Gentile. So the Bible is true. Keep reading.
And in the day of the king's birth every month.
Come on.
They were brought by bitter constraint.
They were brought by bitter constraint.
To eat of the sacrifice.
They were brought by bitter constraint. They were made to do this. You're going to follow our ways. Go ahead. To eat the sacrifices. Go ahead.
And when the fast of Bacchus was kept.
That's actually supposed to be feast.
Right, right.
Yeah, but it say that fast in the app, but go ahead.
Right. Go ahead.
And when the fast of Bacchus was kept.
Now, we are in the fast or the feast of Bacchus this month. This month is the fast of Bacchus. It wasn't worldwide before until Barack Obama. Now it's worldwide. And I just found this out too. It's worldwide. The world on this month is celebrating the feast or what? Festival of what?
Of
Bacchus. Go ahead.
Was kept. The Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus.
Go ahead.
Carrying ivy.
Go ahead.
Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen.
Of who?
Of the heathen.
Come on.
By the suggestion of Ptolemy. against the Jews.
Come on.
That they should observe the same fashion.
That they should observe the same fashions. This is all we hear. There's no difference. God loves everybody. God loves the homosexuals. God loves everybody. This is what the world wants you to believe. This is what the world wants us to believe. Come on.
And be partakers of their sacrifice.
And be partakers of their sacrifice. They want us to be partakers of this thing. They want us to do this too. But we can't do that. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And whoso would not conform themselves.
Now this is where we got a problem, man. Whosoever would not conform, come on,
themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death.
A lot of Israelites are going to die. A lot of us are going to lose our life because we're not going to stand up for this. Go ahead.
Then might a man have seen the present misery.
Now we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop right there. Now, we're going to move on. I want to deal with something else that they're trying to push on us. Sex on the Sabbath. Another form of Bacchus worship. Some camps preach it, say it's okay to do it. We're going to show it's not okay. We're going to show it's not okay to have sex on the Sabbath, right? Give me Isaiah 58. You got to rightly divide this word, right? Isaiah 58. It's the same worship. Pleasure. Pleasure. Yeah. Release yourself. Free willing. Yeah. Start at verse 13.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 13.
Read verse 12.
Verse 12. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places.
It is our position to build the old waste places. The Bible says, I think it's in some of Proverbs, it speaks about not tearing down the old monuments. We are to hold to our traditions of our fathers, right? Read on.
Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations.
Yeah, thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations. Come on.
And thou shalt be called.
And thou shalt be called what?
The repairer of the breach.
That's every man's job in here and even online. Your job is, even you young kings, is to repair the breach. The enemy has come in, have brought their laws in and say, this is what we need to do. No. They're saying, leave the laws of your forefathers. Don't say Israelites are above all people. No, don't say that no more. Say that everybody is the same. Don't say God hates sin. Say that God loves the sinner. Don't say that God don't hear a sinner's prayer. Say God does hear a sinner's prayer. Deidre Haddon. Read on.
The restorer of paths to dwell in.
The restorer of paths to dwell in. Read.
Verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath.
If thou turn away thy foot from the what?
From the Sabbath.
From the Sabbath. Pay attention. Come on.
From doing thy pleasure.
Stop. Give me the word pleasure on the screen. From doing thy pleasure. What does that mean? Pleasure. God said you turn your foot away from my Sabbath, from doing your pleasure. Let's get the definition. Let the Bible be true and every man a liar. This is the spirit of Bacchus. The spirit of what? Of what? Baal Peor. All over again. What is that? Come on, read it.
Pleasure. A feeling.
A what?
A feeling.
A what?
A feeling.
A what?
A feeling.
That's what pleasure gives you. It gives you a what? A feeling. What kind of feeling?
Of happy satisfaction.
Slow down. A feeling of happy what?
Satisfaction.
I'm satisfied. When you get through, and the context is sex on the Sabbath, right? When you get through having sex on any day, and you are satisfied, what do you do when you're satisfied? Do you continue on or you take a rest? When you are satisfied from eating your dinner, do you continue to eat? Just what? A feeling of happy satisfaction and what?
And enjoyment.
And enjoyment. Ooh, I enjoy. Do you not enjoy having sex with your wife?
You also.
Sisters, you not enjoy having love, making love to your husband? Enjoyment, right? Stay in the spirit. I'll pray. Stay in the spirit. Now, let's leave off from this. Give me Genesis 18. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. We're going to bring it out. Yeah. Genesis 18. I don't need 3 precepts to break this thing down. Matter of fact, go back to, Isaiah 58 to finish it up. Verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath.
From doing thy pleasure.
From doing my pleasure.
On my holy day.
On my holy day.
And call the Sabbath.
And call the Sabbath.
A delight.
A delight. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath. From doing thy pleasure. On my day. On my holy day. Doing your pleasure. Getting satisfaction. Satisfaction is guaranteed. If you turn your foot away from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure, from getting happy, from getting satisfied. On my Sabbath day, what God say? What read?
And call the Sabbath a delight.
And call the Sabbath day a delight.
The holy of the Lord.
The holy of the Lord.
Honorable. And shall honor him.
And shall honor him.
Not doing thine own ways.
What?
Not doing thine own ways.
Your pleasure. Your satisfaction, right? Read.
Nor finding thine own pleasure.
Nor finding our own pleasure. Nor finding our own satisfaction. Read.
Nor speaking thine own words.
And start speaking your own words. If any man speak, let him speak the oracles. Right? Read on.
Then shalt thou delight thyself.
Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord.
In the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth.
Uh-huh.
And feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father.
Uh-huh.
For the mouth of the Lord have spoken.
If we do this, he'll cause us to ride upon the high hills. Give me Genesis 18. Your own pleasure. Uh-huh. Oh, Genesis 18, verse 12. Come on, quickly.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 12.
Read on.
Therefore, Sarah laughed within herself.
Sarah, she laughed about this time. It's time for Sarah to have a baby, right? She's old, right? Read on.
Therefore, Sarah laughed within herself, saying.
Why did she laugh?
Saying.
We're going to find out why she laughing. Read on.
Saying, after I am waxed old.
After I am waxed old.
Shall I have pleasure?
Shall I have what?
Pleasure.
What does she mean by that? Read.
My Lord being old also.
What does she mean? Don't have pleasure, old, wrinkle bone man? We ain't in our prime no more of Zephaniah. He don't have that tight skin. My wife ain't got those perks no more. Right? Shall I enjoy that? That's why she laughed. Am I going to have satisfaction from that? Right? And read.
And the Lord said unto Abraham.
What did he say?
Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child?
Come on.
Which am old.
Which am old. Come on.
Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed,
right?
I will return unto thee.
Stop right there. Stop right there. That's it. Now, last precept, give me Leviticus 15. Shall I have pleasure? I'm just breaking down the word pleasure. Because he said, don't have your own pleasure. Now, we done broke that thing down. Now, if you lay with your husband or wife to have sex, is that not pleasure? Is it not satisfaction when you are done? Huh? Doesn't it not make you happy? Do it make you sad? Huh? Come on, we got to be real about this thing now. Now, we're going to flip the script on sex on the Sabbath. This is another reason why sex on the Sabbath is not lawful. Read that.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 16.
Break it down.
And if any man's seed of copulation.
Stop. Seed of copulation. What is sperm? Seed. What is copulation?
Sex.
Sex. Sperm comes from having sex. Read it again.
And if any man's seed.
If any man's seed of what?
Of copulation.
Read.
Go out from him.
Go out from him.
Then he shall
walk. Slow down. If any man's seed of copulation go out from him, because man's seed going to come out, right? If it go out from him, read.
Then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the evening.
That's the point right there. That's one reason why it's not lawful to have sex, because you are unclean until the evening. Many brothers and sisters have come up in Sabbath class unclean. You're supposed to wash your clothes too. I got you, King. Read verse 17.
Verse 17. And every garment.
Every what?
And every garment.
Every garment.
And every skin.
Every skin.
Whereon
is
the seed of copulation.
Read.
Shall be washed with water.
Water.
And be unclean until the evening.
And you unclean until evening. That means if you lay down and have sex, if you had sex last night, for instance, on Friday night, right? You had sex with your wife or you with your husband. The Bible says you unclean to when? Till the sun go down. Tonight. Right? Meaning you up in here unclean if you did that. Now God forbid, now once we learn, we do better. Now that we know the law, right? Right. Oh, real quick, give me Romans 2. Romans 2 and 12. Real quick. Seed of compilation. Read verse 13.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 13.
Read on.
For not the hearers of the law are just
before
God.
Can't just hear this law. You can't just hear it. You got to do what?
But the doers of the law.
You got to do this. Of the law shall be justified. Sex on the Sabbath is not lawful. Precept must be upon precept. Right? Can you have something real quick? Go ahead. All praise to the Most High. Thank you for that edification. Thank you for edification. So, brothers, is sex on the Sabbath lawful?
No.
Sisters, is sex on the Sabbath lawful? Okay, done. We done with that, right? Okay, let's flip. Give me the next article. Give me Baal Peor. I ain't going there. I ain't going there. I promised my brother I wasn't gonna go there. I'm not going. I ain't gonna go. Look, we'll talk about that a little later. When we sitting back with some glass of wine, we'll talk about that later. No, I ain't gonna do that. All right now. Okay. Look. Go ahead. Give me that article right.
Boy, if y'all want to see something funny, if he do that, this is going to be the funniest class of the century.
We ain't going to do it. We might have a part two. Come. But do we understand Bacchus, the spirit of Bacchus? Right? Okay, this is a problem and has been a problem amongst Israelites. right? We got to stop that thing, right? Or read that. This is the article on Baal Peor. It was a god. Matter of fact, real quick, give me number 25, real quick, verse 1. Just to get a little context on Baal Peor, real quick. All praises. Come on, real quick, because, okay, I ain't got but like 3 more and I'm done. And 1.
The book of Numbers, chapter 25 and verse 1.
Come on.
And Israel abode in Shittim.
Uh-huh.
And the people began to commit whoredom.
Come on.
With the daughters of Moab.
Uh-huh.
And they called the people into the sacrifices of their gods.
Uh-huh.
And the people did eat.
Uh-huh.
And bow down to their gods.
And bow down to their gods.
And Israel joined himself unto Baal
And Israel
Peor.
joined unto them.
Himself unto Baal Peor.
Baal Peor. Come on.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel.
Come on.
And the Lord said unto Moses,
Come on.
take all the heads of the people.
Take all the heads of the people.
And hang them up before the Lord against the
Hang
sun.
them. Hang them up before the Most High.
Against the sun.
Hang them up. Read on.
Against the sun. And the fierce anger of the Lord may be returned away from Israel.
Uh-huh.
And Moses said unto the judges of Israel,
Come on.
slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor.
Hey, what is going on with this Baal Peor that the Most High say,
Man, what?
hang all the leaders? Then he said, Moses said, go and slay every man his brother. What is this God? What is this God about?
You got to be foul.
Is it enjoying themselves to them? What is this God doing? We done found out about Bacchus. We're going to find a little bit more on Bacchus. But this God, Baal Peor, what is he doing? The same thing. Yep. Sexual immorality. I'll keep reading.
And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of the congregation of all the children of Israel.
Come on.
Who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Uh-huh.
And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin.
He took a javelin
in his hand.
I think Mount Naha read this weeks ago. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
And he went after the man of Israel.
He went after that man of Israel.
Into the tent.
Uh-huh.
And thrust both of them through.
Ooh.
The man of Israel.
Oh.
And the woman up through her belly.
Come on.
So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel.
He did that so the plague that was on Israel could stop.
Right.
What is going on with this Baal Peor, man? Read next verse.
And those that died in the plague were 24,000.
24,000. Men and women of Israel, the Most High had to kill for worshiping this God, Baal Peor. Now, I asked the question that I want y'all to do some research on. A lot of our sexual activity that we commit, are all those activities lawful customs of Israel? I know the Bible said the bed is undefiled, but are the customs that we do in the privacy of our home, are they lawful customs of Israelites? Okay, now give me the next article. That's just something for y'all to have. Just take that with you. Brother, we'll talk a little later. Oh, praises. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. All right. Yeah, the article on Baal Peor. It's the same thing of Bacchus and Baal Peor, god of sexual immorality. Come on.
One cannot read too far into the scriptures before encountering a false god.
Come on.
Named Baal.
Named Baal.
Baal was a Canaanite god.
It was an African god. And you know how nasty them Africans is. Come on.
Worshipped in many different ways.
Go ahead. Hold on.
Salaki, off of what Kaya just said, those Canaanite gods, right? So when the Most High took us out of Egypt, we all know what land were we going to? The land of what? Canaan. So he had to kill off all those Canaanite nations, right? In Leviticus 20, it talked about the sexual deeds that these folks was doing. Man with man, adultery, a man with his father's wife, bestiality. All of these sexual misdeeds was happening in Canaan. And he tell you there in Leviticus 20, he said, I threw these nations out because they did all of these things. He didn't say they did some of them or one or the other. He said they did all of them things, and that's why he cast them out of the land. It wasn't because of our righteousness, but because of the wickedness of the other nations. Go
All
ahead.
praises. All praises. Read that.
Baal was a Canaanite god worshipped in many different ways
Read.
by many different tribes.
Come on.
Baal is typically understood to be the storm god. The god
Baal. That's Baal. Right? Come on.
the god of weather and fertility.
It's always fertility. Come on.
In Argarian culture,
Come on.
one can easily see how such a god would gain ascendance
Come
and
on, King.
become the primary object of worship along with his divine consort.
Come on.
Astrid. Astarte.
Uh-huh.
Worshiping Baal involves
Astarte is that female deity, right? Which is connected with Easter, Ishtar. Okay, go ahead.
worshiping Baal involves ritual sex.
Oh, worshiping Baal involve what?
Ritual sex.
Ritual sex. Come on.
Priests and priestesses would copulate with worship who came to make offerings at the shrine.
That's why we see how the Most High had to tell Moses to go get all the leaders of Israel. Because the leaders of Israel were judges. Go get them priests and hang them. Go ahead.
On high holy days,
Oh, on high holiday. Come on.
the community would gather and engage in large-scale orgies.
Oh, on the high holy days. Read on.
As they sought to commune with Baal.
As they sought to commune with Baal. So to commune with this God, you will indulge or engage yourself in orgies. Come on.
Some Baal courts went to the extreme, often sacrificing children
Sacrificing children
or worshiping their own excrement.
or worshiping their own excrement, their boo-boo. That gives you a clue. Excrement. Read.
Yes, you read that last part right.
Come on.
Their worship literally involved the uncovering of the rectum.
Of the worship was directly uncovering the what?
The rectum.
The rectum. Come on.
The most shameful part of the human body.
Come on.
According to the Jews, due to its almost
According to the who?
Jews.
According to the Jews. Isn't there a story in the Bible where it was some men humiliated? Right, David. Right, cut the backsides off to expose their rectum. They booty. This is on point. Read on.
The most shameful part of the human body.
Come on.
According to the Jews, due to its almost permanent state of uncleanliness.
Come on.
And depositing their waste on the altar.
Jews due to its almost permanent state of what?
Uncleanliness.
Because, and I want to show this, King, you got Judges, you got Genesis 19, 1 through 5. I want to probably get, I think it's verse 11 or 12, to show how violent booty bandits are in jail. Oh, yeah. This is why, right, this is why it's a permanent state, it's almost a permanent state of what? Uncleanliness. To take a man's manhood, that stays with him. For a man to rape a man, that stays with him for life. It's almost a permanent state of what?
Uncleanliness.
Read on.
And depositing their waste on the altar.
And depositing their waste on the altar. Now, hold on. Here's a question. Where's the altar now? If they're depositing their waste on the altar, where's the altar? Where would the altar be? Where's another word for the church? Where's the temple today? We are the temple. Now you're getting it. I don't want to get too explicit. Right. Dumping your load in a man. Read on.
Such was.
Yeah, come on.
Such was life under the coat of Baal Peor.
Such was life under the coat of Baal Peor. Now read a little bit of this. We're going to be done with this. Read that.
Baal Peor literally means Lord of the open holes.
Lord of the open holes. Read.
Or Lord of the rectum.
Or Lord of the rectum.
According to Jewish sources.
According to Jewish sources. Come on.
Their worship was the very definition of ritual uncleanness.
Come on.
The very antithesis of Israelite worship. God hates Baal worship.
Come on.
Hates it for what it represents.
Stop right there. He hates it for what it represents. He's the God of the holes, the open holes. Right. Now again, we're in your bedroom. But we all have been and still are committing sins. Right? It's something to think about. I promise I wasn't going to go there, and I'm not going there. I'm going to end that right there. Give me John 5:19. Real quick. Go back to Genesis. I want to show how violent they were. This is why you young men shouldn't go to jail. They're going to violently take your rectum. The worship of Bacchus is a very violent, brutal, right, of worship. Yeah. Give me verse 6. No, King got that. Give me verse 9.
Of Genesis what?
19:9.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 9. And they said, stand back. They said,
stand back. The men who came to the door, stand back. Come on now. We want them. Stand back. We're going to come up in this thing violent. Go ahead.
And they said again.
What they say?
This one fellow came to sojourn.
Now here's the point. This is why they get mad at us on the streets. This is not our land. They mad at Lot because Lot is sojourning there. He just journeying through. The men of Sodom and Gomorrah, they live there. Read.
And he will needs be a judge.
And how you gonna judge us? Come on.
Now will we deal worse with thee?
Now we're gonna deal worse with you if you don't move back. We're gonna take some.
Than with them. And they press sore upon the man.
Stop right there. Move real quick. Give me Matthew 24:36. It's wicked, man. Matthew 24:36.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36.
This worship is violent. Very violent, very demanding, nasty. Come on.
Verse 36.
Come on.
But of that day and hour knoweth no man. No, not the angels of heaven.
Come on.
But my Father only.
Read.
But as the days of Noah were, so also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Come on.
For as in the days that were before the flood,
come on,
they were eating and drinking.
Now, what was involved in the worship of Bacchus? Wine.
They just go to show, man, Bacchus has been influencing the behavior of people for generations. Eating and drinking. That's going into that revel.
Come
Go ahead, King.
Come on. Read verse 38 again.
Verse 38.
This is the coming of the Son of Man. This is how we know Christ is at the door. Because what we seeing in the streets, what we seeing with the LGBT community. What is one of the big things of the LGBT community? Marriage, free to marry. It's the same thing. Read.
Verse 38.
Come on.
For as in the days that were before the flood,
come on,
they were eating and drinking.
Eating and what?
And drinking.
Come on.
Marrying. And giving in marriage.
Why did he say married and giving in marriage? Why is marriage just even an issue, because it was strange marriage. This is why he's saying marriage. Look at today, there's nothing new under the sun. Why would he say the day of Noah they were married? I never understood that. It's a different form of marriage. You can marry an ape. You can marry a dog. Tree. Right. Marriage. Giving in marriage. Men can marry a man. Women can marry each other. Right? Read.
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
Come on.
Verse 39.
Come on.
And knew not until the flood came.
Come on.
And took them all away.
And took them all away.
Salaki, can you teaching me right now?
Come on, Ken.
That says a lot.
All praises.
Why did he have to mention they were marrying and giving in marriage? If we know the Bible say marriage is honorable in all.
Come on.
So we know that. So why did he point that out as if they was doing something that was wrong?
Right.
Because it just says right here in verse 39, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away.
That's right.
So they was doing something unseen.
They were doing some right.
But go ahead.
Right, all praises. All I got this one, I got one more priest, and that's it. But we want y'all to understand that this spirit of Bacchus, like King mentioned, has been showing up throughout generations. It's here now. When we was prophesying downtown, we don't have a video, but we was downtown prophesying. All of a sudden, we see Bacchus, a big sign. Man, white men, man, dressed like Romans. Theater.
And gymnos.
Right. I mean, yeah. Right. Bacchus. This is 2023. This is today. Yeah. This is what is going on. This was in Memphis, right? Yeah. This is what's going on, family. Christ is at the door. All right, go back real quick.
Me and wrestling naked.
Real quick. Go to the video. I got one more precept, and I'm gonna end on John 5:19. But give me the other video in there, and then we're gonna go to John 5:19. That's it. I got a question for everybody in here. Who literally, as a majority, is raising the men? Women. I.S.A.A.C sent me an article last week. I ain't gonna pull it up, but I.S.A.A.C sent me an article, and the article states that over 50% of our young men are effeminate Ezras, and over 70% of them are raised by women, right? Raised by women. Over 60%, I think, are in the school system, raising our men. The article says it's not a problem with masculine men. That's not the problem. The problem is the absence of masculinity, right? Here's the next video. Play that real quick. This is real, and I'm going to end right here on John 5:19. Come on. Who was that? Go back. Go back. Who was that? I ain't hear a preacher. Come on, go back. Oh, yeah. This is the world we live in, y'all. This is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. This is the world we live in, family. You got that real quick? Y'all are done with that, King? Oh, yeah. That's Christian music. That's Bacchus. That's Bacchus. Stop right there.
This is Tam Talk.
Stop right there. Move down to stamp 122. Y'all remember DJ Haddon? The one who made the song, God still hears a sinner's prayer. I can't sing, you know what I'm talking about, right? Real quick, on that, no. I just quoted. John 8 or 9 and 32 said what? God don't hear sinner's prayer. 9:31, he don't hear sinner's prayer. But here's the next piece of this. Dietrich Haddon, the maker of that song, play that.
As of late, I know Dietrich
yeah.
Haddon and his wife are under fire.
Oh, stop!
Just last week for his.
Stop! This the first lady. Is that modest apparel? Come on, y'all. You gonna make me hit this table? This is how we're being raised. This is Bacchus. This is worship. This is spiritual worship. The weapons of our warfare are what? Are not what? Are not carnal. This is a spiritual battle. I back up a little bit, and I'll play it all the way through. Just you get, yeah, right. Rewind. Don't back it up. Rewind. Huh? I just want to make it to heaven. Come on.
His wife are under fire just last week for his wife tricking on him at his birthday party. So a lot of.
I think it's all.
Something
So
that
was
needs
that-
to be in the bedroom.
So was that it on that?
Not for every eye but eyes to see.
Right. That's why I want the children out of here.
Lewdness.
So that was it.
We Lord.
I think that was it. Okay. Oh, okay. All praise y'all. I mean, it's hilarious, but guess what? This is real. Right. This is real, y'all.
I know Dietrich Haddon and his wife are under fire just last week for his wife tricking on him at his birthday party. So a lot of moving and grooving in ministry is going on, but I don't have nothing negative. I like, when you're married,
Stop right there.
I'm not going to get into it. What do you got?
Stop right there. And that is the statement that we make. Are they married? You got something, Young King? Oh, yeah. Are you there? Right. There it are. They couldn't believe it. This here is some extra. Y'all know who Pastor Jamal Bryan is, right? Okay, write this down. Jamal Bryan is hooked up with O.C. Allen, Bishop O.C. Allen. You know who O.C. Allen is, right? O.C. Allen is a openly gay bishop of a church in Atlanta with over 10,000 members. His husband is known as in the church as the first, not lady, but the first gentleman. Do your research. Type that in, O.C. Allen, Bishop O.C. Allen, has a church in Atlanta now. Pastor Jamal Bryan, who we brought him in about 2-3 weeks ago, and was talking about he wants to start growing weed on the church grounds. He done hooked up now. He done hooked up with O.C. Allen. Okay, last precept, give me John 5:19. And man, now I got some thunder coming. John 5:19. Now, I asked y'all a question. I asked y'all earlier who raising our young men, and I asked that for a reason. This spirit of Bacchus, men, you got to raise your children. Sisters, let the men raise the children. Read that.
This is the book of John, chapter 5, verse 19.
Now, just hear what Christ is saying in this statement.
Then answered Jesus and said unto them,
What did he say?
Verily, verily, I say unto you,
Verily, verily, I say unto you.
the Son can do nothing of himself.
Stop. That's very important. The Son can't do nothing of himself. Christ said, I don't come to do my will, but the will of him who sent me. I can do nothing of myself. Read.
But what he seeth the Father do.
He can only do what he see his Father do. Read.
For what things soever he doeth,
So whatsoever things he doeth,
these also doeth the Son, likewise.
these things the Son doeth likewise. Who is raising our boys?
The mother.
That's why it's very important for the ladies to dress modest, to keep the order of God, Christ, husband, mother, children. Keep that order. Everything must be done what? Decently and in order. Our sons need to begin to see what the man is doing. then our activity will change. The activity will change. But if men, it's really our fault. If we don't get up and step, the boys are only going to do what mama is doing.
Like the scriptures say, so is the mother's son.
Well, no, it says.
They're just saying, because you got these boys out here, feminism up.
Say, as is the mother, so is the daughter.
So it's the daughter, right.
I just added that in there.
No, don't add nothing.
Right. Come on.
You know how we got these brothers out here.
Right.
It was
right.
to be a joke.
Right. Come on. But y'all understand, right? Can I?
All praises to the Most High, man. It was a good portion, great portion that Kyle brought out. Concerning, and even when you mentioned with the video when the sister was twerking on her husband and everything like that. Now, if you in the privacy of your own home and sisters up there, I know some of y'all sisters. This y'all business. Y'all twerk on your husband and how that's y'all business. That's y'all business. But the reason why that was wrong is because you was doing it in the open. And the aged women and the aged men are supposed to behave themselves in a different fashion than that. Matter of fact, let's get there, Titus 2. Let's get there. So, like I said, you won't do whatever you do in the privacy of your own home, ain't none of my business. That's your business. Titus 2, start verse 1. I think that's what I want.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
It say, speak the things which become sound doctrine. Go ahead.
That the aged men be sober.
That the aged men be sober. So if that man being an older gentleman, what example was he setting for the young folks that was around? Like he said, the people that were standing around him, they were in awe. They were looking like, man, what was that? But he says the aged men be sober. Go ahead. Grave. Temperate.
Sound in faith.
Go ahead.
In charity. In patience.
That's the example of an older man, right? Verse 3. Let's see what about that older woman, the aged woman with her husband. Go ahead.
The aged woman likewise.
Go ahead.
That they be in behavior as becometh holiness.
He said that they be in behavior as becometh holiness. Go ahead.
Not false accusers. Not given to much wine.
Which is what? Bacchus is the god of wine. Right? Go ahead.
Teachers of good things.
Go ahead.
That they may teach the young women to be sober.
To teach the young women to be sober. That sober is not only going into that physical wine, of being drunk, but being sober-minded. Not acting as if you under the influence, even when you ain't had nothing. Go ahead.
To love their husband.
Go ahead.
To love their children.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. To be discreet.
Now answer me this. Was that discretion to stand on the dance floor and twerk on your husband in front of people? That is not discretion. That's not discreet. The Bible say the aged women have to be discreet. So if you an aged woman and you twerking in front of the whole crowd, what example is this setting for the young women? Like when we were prophesying at the Pride Parade last week, of course we didn't have a class because it was an all-day event. I was trying to draw the people in, through the spirit of the Most High, in a different approach, a different method. Like let me try to show a little bit more compassion when I'm teaching this word. But I got fired up when I seen granddaddy and grandmama them down there supporting these folks. It was a lot of old Israelite men and a lot of old Israelite women in support of that with their children down there. And I got mad. So that's what the aged men and the aged women should be doing, this right here. So it says to be discreet. Go ahead.
Discreet, obedient to their own husbands.
Hold on. To be discreet and what?
Chaste.
Go ahead.
Keepers at home.
Like not being, just being really for a aged woman, she should be more so of a homebody. Not like these young girls, they want to go to the club. They want to go on Bill. We were down there prophesying last night on Bill Street. A flood of women just out of nowhere came down there as we prophesied in the hundreds. Well, no men, I ain't going to say no men, but if we want to talk about numbers, out of 10, you had 7 women, 3 men. And out of the 3 men, one of them was a homosexual. The other one was not a homosexual, but he was effeminate, like the brother was bringing out. And the third one was just a flat out nigga. And then out of the 7 women, oh man, I ain't gonna go there. Go ahead, finish that out.
Verse 5, to be discreet.
To be discreet.
Chaste. Keep us at home.
Being more so of a homebody, rather be at the house than being around the crowd. That's a good thing in the sight of the Most High. Only time if you want to be around the crowd, gather with your brothers and sisters. Like what we finna do tonight. We gonna chill tonight. We gonna have something to eat. We gonna fellowship with one another. That's what we gonna do. Go ahead.
Good.
And we know good is keeping the commandments. Go ahead.
Obedient to their own husbands.
Obedient to their own husbands, not what other people got to say. Other men got to say. Some of our sisters, they not up in here and not online, hopefully. But a lot of our women that are in marriages outside of the gospel of God, their counselors are people that's on YouTube and podcasts. Those are their counselors instead of their own husband. Derrick Jackson is the counselor, or was the counselor, of thousands of women instead of their own man that they lay in the bed beside. Steve Harvey is their counselor. The Bible say you need to be obedient to your own husband. Yep. Don't worry about what Steve Harvey told you to do or Derrick Jackson told you to do. Your own husband. Go ahead, King.
And real quick, verse 5 it says, and keep us at home. And that's very important because it's a lot of sisters who love to be at home. Jacob was a keeper at home. He was a plain man, dwelt in tents. So, of course, as Jacob is, as the husband is, the wife should be the same way.
Hey, that's right. Like, need to be really a homebody. Not, I'm trying to go on a party. What's that? Man, I'm going to go to the house. Wisdom tell you to go to the house. I ain't going to pull it, but the scriptures say, get thee home betimes. I mean, it means early. Get thee home betimes. It said, don't be the last one to leave. It said, go to the house. It says, there, do your pastime. Pastime meaning the thing that you do for enjoyment outside of work. Leisure. So whatever it is you do for your leisure time at home, whether you want to watch a movie, whether you playing cards, or whether you playing the game, or whatever it is that you do, the Bible says you need to get to the house quickly. Don't be out here in these streets. Get home. It's trouble out there. Go ahead. That what?
That the word of God be not blasphemed.
That the word of God be not blasphemed. That's what the aged men and the aged women should be doing. But getting back to this Bacchus bastard. Give me that article I put up there. This Bacchus bastard has been around for generations. The Raucous of Bacchus. You go down, right there. That should be it right there. Read that for me, King. Now, I found it interesting once I pulled it up. I think, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Let's zoom that in for me. Now watch this. This is what they did in celebration of Bacchus. Go ahead.
Secret ritualistic parties.
Stop right there. They had secret. This was in the beginning portions of this. They had secret ritualistic parties. Go ahead.
Called Bacchanalia.
Bacchanalia. Go ahead.
Were held mid-March.
And at that time it was held in mid-March. Now it's in June. They done proclaimed this throughout the world. June is the Pride Month. They do this over there in Ireland, in Israel. They have pride parades over there. Go ahead.
Attended only by women at first.
Stop right there. The women was the first ones doing it. It was only by women first. Go ahead.
The festivals soon were open to men.
But soon after, it was open unto men. Who got deceived first? The woman. It's always go through the woman. The devil that came to her and had them do the Bacchanalia party. The men seen it. Ooh, I'm finna go and follow after that, and I'm finna go and do that too. Go ahead. They saw, like you said, they saw some twerking. That's why when you went back in the world, when you went to the club, the women was getting in free. The women was free until midnight. The women free to midnight, then you go in, you paying to get in there with them. Because you know they finna twerk. They finna do all that. And some of the clubs were so wild, they had some women that just come in and get naked, stand on the table. And they knew it was going to draw men in. They just drew them in by the droves. So it was only about women at first. Go ahead. So the club scene, that same Bacchus stuff, they using the same method. Let's get the women on in here. The men going to come and the men going to buy the drinks. The drink, look, all of it. Go ahead.
The festivals soon were open to men.
The festivals were soon open to the men. Go ahead.
And took place 5 times a month.
It took place 5 times a month. How many times the clubs open on Bill or anywhere else? Every weekend. They done pushed it and said, now we're going to have Thursday night parties and all that kind of stuff. On by L Street. Go ahead.
They became the ancient day frat party.
They became what?
The ancient day frat party.
Frat party. A lot of our people is tied up in their Bacchus spirit. They want to be deltas and AKAs and Q dogs. The Q dogs so wild. They'll come in a party butt naked with some gold boots on and just hollering and howling and stuff. Man, that's Bacchus. That's Greek. Go ahead.
Filled with drunken revelries.
Filled with drunken revelry. This is what Bacchus is the god of. Go ahead.
Sexual liberty.
Sexual liberty. Freedom. You remember it was a point of time in history when the women was taking their bras off and burning their bras. They wanted to be free a few decades ago. Sexual liberty. Go ahead.
And general debauchery.
Just all kind of madness. Go ahead.
They were so infamous.
Watch this. Watch what this part of the article gonna say. They were so infamous that what?
That they were banned for a time by the Roman Senate.
Now you know how freaky deaky you gotta be if the Romans say, hold on, you going too far. The Romans were like, hold on, we freaky, but y'all freakier than freaky.
Right.
Hey, what? Never mind. I'll talk to Solomon later.
And that's a statement. You know, if y'all remember the statement, it was Statement King.
Go ahead.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Do as the Romans do. And somebody said that, was that yesterday when they said that to us? Was it Quinn? It might have been Quinn. I'm not sure. But he said, when you in Rome, do as the Romans do. Yeah. Like, no, the Bible don't. He said the Bible say that. I said, no, the Bible don't say that. So think about how crude this stuff and lewd that this stuff had to be. That for a time the Romans was like, hold on, y'all tripping. And we know Esau is a fornicator and a profane person. So if he said y'all tripping and we finna ban this, y'all were going too far. Go ahead. You see that? It says fun shenanigans. Bacchus, he was the god of ecstasy and fun and pleasure. But they said, along with the fun shenanigans, go ahead.
The parties were often a place for conspirators.
The parties were often a place for conspirators. Go ahead.
Where people felt free to speak their mind.
What that sound like? It sound like liberal type of stuff, right? They were free to speak their mind and say what they wanted to say. Go ahead.
This led Bacchus to earn the party nickname of the Liberator.
So a lot of people in this land, as I guess a political title that they have given themselves in this land, a lot of people call themselves what? Not just liberals, it's another word, libertarians. Right? All of this goes back to Bacchus. It's right here in plain sight. Right here in your face. So it says his party nickname was the Liberator, because people would come to these parties, these wild parties, and then they'll just speak their mind freely. Because it was a point in time, I learned this from Gideon a long time ago, it was a point in time in Rome, you couldn't even speak out against the Roman authority or government. You would be dead on the spot. So it says they are loosening their tongues at these Bacchus parties. Go ahead.
Loosening tongues with freely flowing wine.
They are loosening their tongue with freely flowing wine. They'll get drunk, say what they want to say.
Wines and spirits.
Go ahead. What they say? A drunk soul speak a sober heart. That's what they were doing. Go ahead.
Although these parties are remembered mainly for celebration and wine.
He said, even though they remember mainly for celebration and wine, go ahead.
Sexual promiscuity with often violent,
It says sexual promiscuity with often what?
violent,
Violent,
large-scale orgies,
large-scale orgies. That's all I want on there. They were having violent orgies. You know, men probably getting turned on by beating up other men and dealing with each other. I don't want. Go ahead.
So that comes in even with those toys, those
anal beads.
Yeah, anal beads, and even the mask and
BDSM.
Right, domination. Right, con. And you say King?
BDSM.
I don't know what that is.
You know they got all the alphabets.
Con.
LGBT, BDSM, all that. But this is what they did. This was Bacchus. Bacchus did. They had a large, violent orgy. All right, drop that. I'm going to start off with Isaiah 32. That ain't crazy, man. Isaiah 32. Hold on 1 second, King. I got you. This is the P. Diddy party. Isaiah 32. And read verse 8. Hold on, let me get it on the screen. Read that.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 8.
Go ahead.
But the liberal deviseth liberal things.
The Bible says the liberal gonna devise liberal things. Go ahead.
And by liberal things shall he stand.
And by liberal things shall he stand. So let's find out what liberal means. Go to the chat. I put that in there as well. What does liberal mean? Let's get that on the screen and read that for me once he pulled it up. It should be like right after the article or something like that. Right there, yep. Put that on the screen for me. What does liberal mean? The liberals in America, what do they do? Go ahead, read the first definition.
Liberal, willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own, open to new ideas.
So it says willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own. Meaning what? A liberal is willing to accept what you're doing even though they don't have the same opinion about it. That's what's going on in America. Our people are wrapped up in being Democrats and liberals. And a lot of our people don't agree with homosexuality, but for the sake of being a liberal, they're willing to accept it. That's why it's happening in the modern day Christian church with the Bacchus prophets. Hold on 1 second, King. So with that being said, man, this is the reason why you see the pastors are letting the homosexual run the organs and the music and all of these different things, right? Choir director, all of that. Right. Now go back to the precept.
Isaiah 32, verse 9.
So like that, go ahead, Kane. He said it's fun. I just want to have fun. He did not believe he did not believe in homosexuality. I'm gonna get one more and then y'all, for the sake of time, let me go ahead and get through this. Go ahead, young King. Yeah, give him a mic. I can't hear him.
I recognize, like, back in the older days, people didn't really talk about homosexuality like that.
Right.
People were bashing things like that.
Right.
But, once everybody started to, acknowledge that Barack Obama did his thing, people all of a sudden started coming out talking about they support it, all of a sudden coming out as homosexual, it's just blending with the crowd.
Right. And you absolutely right about that. As people are becoming more and more liberal as we generate, because guess what? That was in our lifetime. I ain't that old. Kaya got a decade on me. I ain't that old, but in my lifetime, it was frowned upon. People stayed in the closet. Like back in, even in the 90s, my folks weren't just coming out the closet like that in the 90s. They was hiding that stuff. But now, right. So now everybody is so liberal. Go ahead, read verse. Now we know we just read the article where they was open to new ideas, free thinking, like we read in the article with that we was reading about Bacchus. Now read verse 9.
Verse 9.
Rise
up.
It say rise up.
Ye women that are at ease.
It said ye women that are at ease, because we read it in the beginning of that article too, that a lot of our women were doing it first. They were at ease, right? Go ahead.
Hear my voice.
So the Most High said, hear my voice.
Ye careless daughters.
He said, you careless daughters. Go ahead.
Give ear unto my speech.
He said, give ear to my speech. Go ahead.
Many days and years shall ye be troubled.
He gonna judge our women for that, because even to this day, not the women up in here or online, because y'all keeping the Sabbath. Y'all got the Most High's laws on the forefront of your mind. But it wasn't like that for them women down there at the Pride Parade. They were at ease. They were careless daughters. Verse 10 says, many days and years shall ye be troubled. Go ahead.
Ye careless women.
Ye careless women. Go ahead.
For thine vintage.
For what?
For the vintage shall fail.
For the vintage shall fail. What's the vintage? Go back to the chat. Let's get the definition of vintage. He says, for the vintage shall fail. So what is he talking about with these women? They being careless and they got this vintage that's going to fail. What is he talking about? Vintage. Get that definition for me, Al. And read there when they come up on the screen, Uzziah.
Vintage. The first one?
Yeah, read the first one.
The year.
Well, you can read both of them. You read the noun and the adjective. You can read both of them. Go ahead.
Vintage. The year or place in which wine.
The which what?
In which wine.
Wine, go ahead.
Especially wine of high quality. Was produced.
Man, these women were full of the wine. They was reveling. Bacchus is the god of wine and revelry and partying. The Most High said the vintage is going to fail, you careless daughters. They out there want to get drunk and party. They were doing it last night as we were prophesying. Read the adjective. The definition, the adjective definition.
Go up a little bit for me, King. Adjective. Relating to or denoting wine of high quality.
So it's a high quality wine. Even the strong drink, they want to get in there.
Okay, let me say one thing real quick. Because as you bringing this out, and you still going to be a good lesson, I'll praise the Most High. A woman that's not liberal with her body, once she get a little wine in her, she'll get a little loose.
She gonna turn up a little bit. And you brothers know that. And like I said, I'll praise to the Most High. Now you brothers know that, and I'm glad we had to move the children to the other side. But y'all brothers know, if you at home with your wife, she get a little something to drink. They even got songs about it, the country song. They say, rain makes corn, corn make whiskey. I know Cornelia know about it. And Tabak said, rain makes corn, corn make whiskey, whiskey make my baby get a little frisky. So that's what happens, right? So going back, so we know the vintage is talking about the wine. Go back to Isaiah 32. So they were celebrating what? Bacchus. They were liberal. They wanted to have new ideas, free thinking, and partying. Go ahead. Hold on.
Isaiah, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 10.
Read verse 10 again.
Many days.
He said, many days.
And years.
And years.
Shall ye be troubled.
You're going to be troubled.
Ye careless women.
You careless women. Them women out there on the streets, the Pride Parade, Beale Street, they careless women. They want to party. Go ahead.
For the vintage shall fail.
He said their vintage, their wine, their high quality wine that you've been on is going to fail. And what else going to do? What else?
The gathering shall not come.
Ain't going to be no more parties. You ain't going to gather no more and do this feast of Bacchus. That's not going to come. Go ahead, read verse 11.
Verse 11. Tremble, ye women that are at ease.
He said, tremble. Be afraid, ye women that are at ease.
Be troubled.
Be troubled.
Ye careless ones.
Because you being careless, you ain't thinking. You out here half naked. Go ahead.
Strip you and make you bare.
He said, but I'm going to strip you and I'm going to make you bare. I'm going to show your nakedness, your spiritual nakedness. Right? Go ahead.
And gird sackcloth upon your loins.
And gird sackcloth upon your loins. Now, he spiritually was going to make them naked, but guess what? Sometimes our women would be physically stripped and made bare because of those iniquities, right? That happened to Jacob's daughter. Give me Genesis 34. Let's show an instance. Let's show what happened in this situation. Read verse 1.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 34, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Jacob.
This is Jacob's only daughter. Jacob had 13 children. Only daughter. Go ahead.
Went out to see the daughters of the land.
She went out to do what?
To see the daughters of the land.
I want to go and do what the daughters of the land doing. Because guess what? The daughters of the land, as we know, was partying. Heathens. They partying, celebrating Bacchus. Bacchus going by many different names. I want to go out and I want to see the daughters of the land. This is what Dinah did. Go here, verse 2.
Verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite.
No, take your time. Can't you read? Start it from the top. Take your time.
Verse 2. And
that's Shechem. Go ahead.
And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite.
Go ahead.
Prince of the country.
Saw her. He saw her. He didn't recognize her among the women that he knew already. There was already a part of this stuff that they had going on. New face. He saw her, and what'd he do?
He took her.
He did what?
He took her.
He took her. Go ahead.
And lay with her.
And he laid with her, strip you, make you bare. Go ahead.
And defiled her.
Because of what? Verse 1. I'm going out to see the daughters of the land. I want to go and see, and I want to go and do what they doing. This is what happens to us when we try to be like them. Give me Proverbs 3 and 31. Classic precept, Proverbs 3:31. Go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
The Bible say, envy thou not the oppressor. Go ahead.
And choose none of his ways.
Did it say choose some of his ways?
Choose none of his ways.
The Bible say choose none of his ways. Don't do nothing that they do because they wicked. What they doing is sin. And not only that, if you do it, man, Israel magnify anything that we do. Anything we do. So guess what? If Israel see a nation doing wicked, Israel gonna be like, hold my beer. I can do it better. Or should I say worse? Right? Because if Israel see a nation being gay, Israel gonna take it to the next. Oh, you gay? I'm gonna be bisexual. I want them both. Israel gonna take it to the next level. You see another nation, they say, oh y'all bisexual over there? I'm gonna be a transsexual. I'm gonna be a tranny. Israel go far with it. Right? No, you ain't no transsexual, you a transgressor. Give me Jeremiah 5 and 28. We're gonna show that Israel is gonna go too far. We always do. Jeremiah 5, read verse 28.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5.
All I want is the A part. That's it. Keep going.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, verse 28. They are waxing fat.
He said they waxing fat.
They shine.
They shining. Go ahead.
Yea. They overpass the deeds of the wicked.
We overpass the deeds of the wicked. We gonna go further than they gonna go. We gonna go way further, like we just said earlier today. Leviticus 20 is gonna tell you about the sexual immorality. It's gonna tell you about the adultery, that's sexual immorality. It's gonna talk about it was talking about a man that'll lay with his father's wife, sexual immorality, which Reuben did, by the way, to Jacob. Come on now. So you talked about that. Then you talk about man being with man in Leviticus 20. Then it talks about man lying down with a beast in Leviticus 20. The Bible say in Leviticus 20, all those nations that he cast out of their land did every last one of those things. It said they did every last one of those things, and then we turn around and pick it up, and we going to do it worse. We going to overpass their deeds. Don't believe it? Let's get a story. Judges 19. Start at verse 1 when you get there.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 19, verse 1.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass in those
It
days,
said it came to pass in those days. Go ahead.
when there was no king in
There
Israel,
wasn't no king in Israel. Go ahead.
that there was a certain Levite
It was a Levite.
sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim,
So he was chilling on the side of Mount Ephraim. That's where he lived at. Go ahead.
who took to him a concubine
So he had him a concubine. Go ahead.
out of Bethlehem, Judah,
Out of Bethlehem, Judah. Go ahead.
and his concubine played the whore against him.
Stop right there. His concubine played the whore against him. Did what? Committed adultery. That's that Bacchus spirit that she had on her. She played the hoe against her husband. Go ahead.
And went away from him unto
And she left after she played the hoe on him. She left from him and did what?
from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah.
So she went to her father's house in Bethlehem, Judah, after she done played the hoe. Go ahead.
And was there 4 whole months.
And she left him, and she was at her daddy's house for 4 whole months. Go ahead and read verse 3.
And her husband arose
Uh-huh.
and went after her
He went after her. Go ahead.
to speak friendly unto her.
So he had to put his cape on. He went after her to speak friendly unto her. He done put his cape on. He done did a little rest haven. He like, I'm going to get my baby. She done played the hoe on him. He want her. He like. Says, but go ahead. He said, he speak friendly unto her. Go ahead.
And to bring her again,
And he wanted to bring her back home again. Go ahead.
having his servant with him,
So he brought his servant with him. Go ahead.
and a couple of asses.
And he brought a couple of asses, something for her to ride on. So they bring it to modern time. You pull up, your woman, she done played the hoe on you. She been messing with all these other dudes. And you pull up over there with your partner. Y'all brought a couple of cars. Like, I'm going to go get my baby. And my baby, I can come on home.
I love her, man.
But I'm going to kill him when he get out work tonight, though. So he done brought a couple of asses. Go ahead.
And she brought him into her father's house.
So when he got there, she saw him and she brought him. She's like, come on. She brought him into her father's house. Go ahead.
And when the father of the damsel saw him,
So when the father saw him, because you know that'll grieve a father. You got a daughter, she out here hoeing. So he see him. What he do?
he rejoiced to meet him.
He was happy. Like, please, man, she need to settle down. Right? Go ahead, verse 4.
And his father-in-law,
Uh-huh.
the damsel's
The
father,
damsel's father, he
retained,
retained him. Go ahead.
and he abode with him 3 days.
He said, man, chill with me, man, 3 days. Come stay right here. Go ahead.
So they did eat and drink,
So they ate, they drank. Go ahead.
and lodged there.
And they lodged there. Jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
And when the man rose up to depart,
Uh-huh. He was ready to go. He
and his concubine,
and his concubine.
And his servant.
He went and got his little sweet thing and his servant.
his father-in-law,
And his father-in-law, go
the
ahead.
damsel's father,
Uh-huh.
said unto him,
What'd he say?
Behold, now the day draweth towards
He
evening.
like, hey, man, it's getting kind of late, man. You know, it's drawing toward evening. Go ahead.
I pray you, tarry all
He
night.
said, man, I pray. Hey, stay with me all night, man. Don't leave. It's late. Go ahead.
Behold, the day groweth to an end.
He said, the day grown to an end. Go ahead.
Lodge here,
Man, stay here, man. Go ahead.
that thine heart may be merry.
He said that your heart will be married, that your heart will be happy. And you know, as our custom is, we reading this for context, but we getting to a point. He said that your heart be married. Go ahead.
And tomorrow get you early on your way,
He said just get up early in the morning, then go on roll after that. Go ahead.
that thou mayest go home.
That thou mayest go home. Go ahead.
But the man would not tarry that night,
He said, nah, I ain't staying this night. I got to go on roll. Go ahead.
but he rose up and
He
departed,
rose up and departed.
and came over against Jebus,
He came over against Jebus,
which is Jerusalem.
which is Jerusalem. So keep in mind, we reading this to show y'all where he at. Because remember, we overpassed the deeds of the wicked. Right? So he said, which is in Jerusalem. Go ahead.
And there were with him 2
Uh-huh.
asses saddled,
He had his 2 asses saddled.
His concubine also was with him.
And his concubine came with him. Keep going, verse 11.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And when they were by Jebus,
And when they was by Jebus, go ahead.
the day was far spent.
The day was far spent, so it was getting late again. Go ahead.
And the servant said unto his master,
What the servant say?
Come, I pray thee,
He said, I pray you, go ahead.
and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites,
He said, let us turn into the city of the Jebusites. Go ahead.
and lodge in it.
Let's go over here what the Jebusites is, right? And let's lodge in it. Let's see what the master's response to his servant was. Go ahead, verse 12.
And his master said unto him,
What'd he say?
We will not turn aside hither unto the city of the stranger.
He said, man, we ain't going to go to no strangers. Surely, you know you don't go to no strangers. You're going to go to somebody that's your brother, right? You supposed to be safe amongst your brother, right? He said, man, we ain't going to the city of the strangers. We're not going to the Jebusites. Go ahead.
That is not of the children of Israel.
They ain't know the children of Israel. We ain't going over there. Go ahead.
We will pass over to Gibeah.
We going to go over to Gibeah. Go ahead, verse 13.
And he said unto his servant,
And he said unto his servant what?
Come,
Come.
and let us draw near to one of these places to lodge.
He said, let us draw near to one of these places to lodge. Go ahead.
All night.
All night.
In Gibeah.
In Gibeah.
Or in Ramah.
Or in Ramah. So that's what he told his servant. Gibeah or Ramah. That's where we going to go. We not going to no strangers. Go ahead, verse 14.
And they passed on and went their way.
And they passed. Swap that mic out, King. That one kind of low. Get the one that Uzziah had, Salaki.
And they passed on and went their way.
And they passed on, they went their way. Go ahead.
And the sun went down upon them.
And the sun went down upon them.
When they were at Gibeah.
When they were by Gibeah. Go ahead.
Which belongeth to Benjamin.
It belong to who?
Which belongeth to Benjamin.
So which of their brothers they around? Yeah, Benjamites. Right. So now they supposed to be safe. We ain't going around no strangers. We gonna go around Benjamin. That's what they said. Now that we done established where they at and what's been going on, what's the background? He done went and got his woman back. They left. And it's a long journey. Now they said, I ain't going to the strangers. I'm going to Benjamin. Jump down to verse 22.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Now, as they were making their hearts merry.
And as they were making their hearts merry while they chilling in the town where the Benjamites are, go ahead. Behold.
The men of the city.
The men of the city.
Certain sons of Belial.
Certain sons of Belial. This is Israel now. From the tribe of Judah, our people. Certain sons of Belial, go ahead.
Beset the house round about.
They beset the house round about. Go ahead.
And beat at the door.
And they beat at the door. This is Benjamin. They beating at the door. Go ahead.
And spake to the master of the house.
And he spake to the master of the house.
The old man.
The old man.
Saying
what?
Bring forth the man that came into thine house.
He said, bring that man that came up out of their house. Go ahead.
That we may know him.
That we may know him. What does that mean? He trying to lay with that man that came up in their house. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Go to Genesis. Genesis 19. Learn not the ways, choose not the ways of the heathen. Choose none of his ways. I'm paraphrasing. Genesis 19, go to verse 1.
The book of Genesis.
He said that we may know him. Right? So this is what Sodom did. Go ahead. Verse 1.
The book of Genesis chapter 19, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And there came two angels to Sodom at even.
Uh-huh. Two angels came to Sodom. Go ahead.
And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom.
And Lot was sitting out there. Go ahead.
And Lot seeing them rose up to meet them.
He rose up to meet them. This Bacchus spirit now. Go ahead.
And he bowed himself.
Not Lot, but we talking about this city. Go ahead. And he bowed himself.
With his face toward the ground.
With his face toward the ground. Go ahead.
And he said.
What'd he say?
Behold now.
Behold now.
My lords.
My lords.
Turn in.
Turn in.
I pray you. Until you serve your servant's house.
He said, come into my house. Go ahead.
And tarry all night.
And I want y'all to chill all night. Go ahead.
And wash your feet.
He said, wash your feet too.
And you shall rise up early.
And then get up in the morning.
And go on your way.
Ain't this what the other man, father-in-law told him? Rise up in the morning, then go your way. Go ahead.
And they said, nay.
What they say? Nay.
But we will abide in the street all night.
They said, nah, we're going to abide in the street all night. Go ahead, verse 3.
And he pressed upon them greatly.
And he pressed upon them greatly. Go ahead.
And they turned unto him.
And they turned in unto him. Go ahead.
And entered into his house.
So the angels decide, you know what, we're going to go in Lot's house. Go ahead.
And he made them a feast.
And he made them a feast.
And did bake unleavened bread.
He gave them unleavened bread.
And they did eat.
They did eat. Go ahead, verse 4.
But before they lay down.
But before they got a chance to lay down.
The men of the city.
The men of the city, just like Benjamin did in Judges 19, which we going back to. The men of the city, go ahead.
Even the men of Sodom.
Even the men of Sodom, go ahead.
Compassed the house round.
Compassed the house round. They done circled the whole house. Didn't we just read that? Didn't Benjamin do the same thing? When we doing what the wicked do? But there's a flip side, though. We going to do it worse. They compassed the house round, go ahead.
Both old and young.
Both old and young.
All the people from every quarter.
All the people from every quarter. Read verse 5.
And they called unto Lot.
They called unto Lot.
And said unto him.
What they say?
Where are the men which came into thee this night?
Now, you know how them Sodomites be talking. What them men said? What them men said that came unto you there at night? That's what they said to him. Go ahead.
Bring them out unto us.
He said, bring them out unto us.
That we may know them.
That's where the familiarity came from. Right. That we may know them, that we may lay down with them. They trying to penetrate men. Now, what part of the game is that? What part is the LGBTQ element of people? Which letter is that? A man trying to know another man. What letter is that, brothers? Which letter? That's the G, right? The G for gay. All right, cool. So remember what we said now. Israel, if we find another nation, we see another nation, we learn their way. Oh, you gonna be gay? We gonna do even better. We gonna be bisexual. We gonna do even worse, I mean. We gonna turn it up a notch. We gonna do it a little different. So he said that we may know him. Going back to Judges 19. Now read verse 22 again.
The book of Judges, chapter 19, verse 22.
Uh-huh.
Now as they were making their hearts merry.
So as they were chilling in a town that was run by Benjamites, making their hearts merry, go ahead.
Behold,
the
men of the city.
The men of the city.
Certain sons of Baal.
Certain sons of Belial, go ahead.
Beset the house round about.
So they beset the house round about. The same exact thing that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Go ahead.
And beat at the door.
And they beat at the door. Go ahead.
And spake to the master of the house.
And they spake to the master of the house.
The old man.
The old man.
Saying
what?
Bring forth the man that came into thine house.
Bring him downstairs. Go ahead.
That we may know him.
That we may know him. They trying to lay with him. Go ahead, verse 23.
And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them.
He went out, go ahead.
And said unto them.
What'd he say?
Nay, my brother.
He like, no, my brother, no. Go ahead.
Nay. I pray you.
I beg you. Go ahead.
Do not so wickedly.
He said, please don't do so wickedly, bro. Go ahead.
Seeing that this man is coming to mine house.
He said, seeing that this man, he is coming to my house. Go ahead.
Do not this folly.
He said, don't do this folly. Go ahead.
Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden.
The same thing that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot said, man, look, I got 2 daughters. Take my 2 daughters instead. We didn't read down that far, but that's what it say in Genesis 19. Same thing. He said, look, I got 2 daughters. This man said, here is my daughter, a maiden, and what?
And his concubine.
So he was trying to give him 2 women. He said, look, take my daughter and take this man's concubine at the same time. Go ahead.
Them will I bring out now.
He said, I'll bring them out now. Go ahead.
And humble ye them.
He said, and you can humble them. Go ahead.
And do with them what seemeth good unto you.
And do with them what seemeth good unto you. This the same thing Lot said to the Sodomites. Go ahead.
But unto this man do not so vile a thing.
He said, but unto this man do not so vile of a thing. Go ahead.
But the men would not hearken unto him.
But the men would not hearken unto him. Go ahead.
So the man took his concubine.
So the man, even though they didn't listen to the other man, this one, he took his concubine and did what?
And brought her forth unto them.
He brought her forth unto them. Go ahead.
And they knew her.
And they knew her. What part of the game is that? Which letter is that one? With LGBTQ, what letter is that?